Hello, 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 and welcome to 52 Weeks of Flow, the podcast that delves into the depth of human potential and the transformative power of flow. On this show, we talk about peak performance, flow, energy, and bridge the gap between science and woo-woo. Through authentic stories and real-life examples, my guests and I will help you dive into your superpowers and create your next level of success. My name is Bea-Marie, neuroscience geek, flow enthusiast, and your guide to rewilding yourself. I'm on a mission to raise the frequency of the planet by supporting you to untame yourself and step into your flow. Hello, hello, and welcome back to another empowering and wonderful episode. Today, I have a really, really special guest, and we're going to dive into some really, really deep shit here. I'm gonna say it as it is, because this woman, 25 years ago, she was the only child and family photographer in India. Like, she has started a movement. She has started a movement of authenticity and really looking deeply into your soul, basically. So that's why I'm really, really excited to have her. And yes, she's going to bring some magic to you, because we're not just going to talk about portraits and photography and all those glitter and shine, what you see on the outside, but especially what you see on the inside. So welcome back to the stage, Shikha Khanna.
Thanks, Bea. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be here with you.
Thank you so much for coming on. So you started 25 years ago as the youngest and only child and family photographer in India. Like, how did that happen? Like, how did you decide, I'm going to do this?
Okay, so I'll be honest. I just, you realize when you go back that there's some things that you're picking up as a child anyway. So my dad's hobby was photography, and he used to only shoot children and family. I only now realize that I probably had a seed at that time from him. But the story that I know of consciously in my head is that I had a crush on this guy who was a photography head, and I just entered from school to college, and I needed to impress him. So I stole my dad's camera and I went all the way. During that time, the cameras are these very heavy cameras, with the steel back, like the steel bodies, and even the tripods are very, very heavy. So just an 18-year-old trying to put that all in, trying to put all the style, and with film cameras trying to impress. So that's what I remember in my conscious brain was the reason why I got into photography. But over a period of time, I realized my dad was also a beautiful photographer as a hobby photographer. And from there on, of course, I had my bit of sharing of talk with my dad, because I literally stole his camera from his cupboard to impress the guy. But I took out the film and I went for processing, and it won the first award in the college. And then one after the other, I kept on winning awards. And then my father handed over the camera to me, saying that it's all yours, totally yours. I think you're meant to do this. So very, very forward thinking father. I belong to a very big joint family of 13 members staying together, my uncles and their children and their siblings. So I was the only one going this way, a way which was not known to any, especially women. And and from there, my professor, seeing me getting awards, brought this course coming from Australia for 3 years to India for the first time. And I just told my dad I want to do it, and I don't know how he managed, but it was a very expensive course at that time for us to do. But he's like, I'll support you. You'll get through this course. And so there I was doing baby photography, learning, and became also one of the first batch of educated photographers in this country. Otherwise, we had to assist photographers for 10 years, and then maybe you'll learn something, and then maybe you'll become a photographer. So yeah, it was a shortcut at 18 for me. So by 20, I was a professional photographer.
Wow. Wow. And there it shows that usually we are drawn through love to things. When we love someone or something, We make
Right.
things happen.
Right.
You didn't doubt, you were like, okay, this is this guy. I want to impress him. How do I impress him? Okay, photography, easy peasy. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
no self-doubt. So I'm wondering what your take on this is. When you take pictures of women, how how do they view themselves? Like when they then look at the first shots, how do they, talk about themselves in those pictures?
So so my work has really come very far, Bia. Now it's more than photography now anyway. But to just go a little further, before I picked up photography, I was not meant for academics. So from grade 1 to grade 10, I flunked every year, you know. And academically, in during our times, that was such a no-no. You couldn't get bad grades in your school, right? Like it was such a no-no. And in our country, like India, where education was rising and everything, you were really, really looked down upon. You were not artists, were not meant to be. You were meant to be teachers and scientists and all that stuff. I was not cut for anything. Every single year, just because my dad's mentor was my school principal, he would make me write, and which again, in hindsight, I recently realized in a hypnotherapy that, oh, I was actually doing affirmations. It was not a punishment. But I used to write 100 times, I will not fail next year. I will not fail next year. I will not fail next year, like every year. And then he would say, okay, write 10, and like 100 times you would not. And every year I would write, and every year I would fail. Not knowing I was not made for academics. I was made for. So self doubt is something that uh, was there as a child, I think, anyway. So I was very good friends with it by the time I became 10 years of being with it. And then the minute I entered the arts, I succeeded and went into the best college by straight away going to a very high percentage in my academics. So I think somewhere while growing, my radar was very sensitive towards people who were not fitting in anyway. And I've been on that side. Okay. And also my mother was taken away when I was 6 because of she being having schizophrenia. So my radar was always matched towards people who are not fitting in. And I think the sensitivity was there. And then I became a photographer, having a beautiful father, great joint family supporting me all the way. Um, I was told by the teachers, that call up your clients. How you get trained when you're educated in a field. Call up your clients, ask them what they want, what's their pain point, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, I'll pick up the phone and I will say, okay, you've just booked a shoot with me, so what do you want? And there was a long list of what I don't want, especially from mums. I don't want the nose to look like this. I don't want this color. I don't want that. And every time I would pick up the phone, there would always be a longer list of what I don't want. And because my whole frequency was very sensitive towards people and catching their inner thing at a very young age, I was a pro at it because I was on the other side already and I'd come out of it being a winner on the other side in terms of the society's winner. Um, I was done with it because the more they pointed out the flaws in them, the more I saw it when I went with my camera because the dark circles, the new weight, because they were all new mums, right? Usually. And I would just keep looking at her like, don't see that, because I had decided I will not bring my work because I was surrounded by some of my friends who wanted to bring the dark side of human emotions out through pictures. So my influence was coming a lot from there. And I had decided that I've already come from a dark place. I don't want to spread that anymore. I want to give joy to people. I want to bring that. I was very sure at a very young age. So when I heard that, and I just couldn't find any light on the other side, it bothered me a lot, even at that age. So I decided I will not ask people what do they want. The only thing where I picked up the phone and I said, I'm coming. No instructions to children and no instructions to you. I will come, I'll merge, we'll dance, we'll create, and we will leave and we'll see what comes. And usually they were shocked, including me, on the other side of 3 hours, because the things that emerged out of, you know, seeing them with fresh eye every time, no matter how rich they were or no matter where they came from, which also, business wise was not a very wise move at that time, because if I had the top notch people calling me, I would charge them the same, because I couldn't have any way of asking questions, filling in the thing, selling anything. But I didn't care. I was just like, I just need to bring joy. And that was my focus till today, is my focus. So yes, dealing with mothers, your question about dealing with mothers, how do I deal with it, is that was the first way as a photographer I dealt with it. And touch wood, nobody's come in front of my camera till today. Thousands of families being photographed. Nobody's come and said, I don't look nice. I always hear, I look gorgeous. And that's a win for me. I have not rare, I don't even want to say rarely, I've never had with this kind of approach. I worked very hard on natural light. I took challenges technically, but I brought that. And then I started getting known to have brought inner light out. That's what people used to say. She can bring inner light. And that's why I started becoming very famous amongst people, because even in their pajamas, mothers could hug. And I would just like to tell mothers that there is so much beauty, and it's just our self-doubt just makes everything very hard on our jaws, our body clinches, we are shrinking, and that shrinking shows in the camera. We don't understand why it's not looking okay, because our soul knows what's happening inside about our self-doubt, and it shows in the camera. So yeah, if that answers your question in a long paragraph way, if I answered it.
Yeah, it does, because it's so beautiful. By telling them, I will come and we will dance and we will create, you took away, the door to their don't,
Right.
to their flaws, putting that in, parentheses, because we're not flawed. We're perfect as we are. And
Right.
I have to circle back a little bit to, when you were in school and you had to write down, I'm not going to fail, or I'm not going to flunk, or whatever. But that is the same thing. They told you not to do something. So
Yeah.
you were focusing on not the not thing, and
Yeah.
you flunked again. So I love that you turned that around and now are focusing on actually, the creation, the light, instead of the don't. So this is a
Right.
this is a beautiful example.
Yes, yes. And the don't shrinks us, when you do so much don't and not and no and all that, it will not expand us. And we are made for expansion. We aren't not made for shrinking so much in terms of our spirituality, inner being, our light. um, Even aging is an expansion. It's not a shrinking. It's all been fed in a wrong way to us. We have expanded to the limits of our expansion, and then we say bye bye to this earth. We're not shrinking at that time as well when we're aging, but everything has been just told us upside down. As you grow old, you will get weak. As you do this, you will not succeed. Or and then the piece of comparison is where everything, and you will see all these yeah, they were told not to come, and he thinks you cannot be seen. But yeah, I also show up like a mother all the time, so I don't lock my doors, letting the audience know. So the piece of comparison is another thing that brings so much problem, because photogenic, again, I think I've dealt it in my little workshop link there. There's nothing called photogenic. Nobody has been able to answer. I don't know whether you've seen it or not, but when you deal with photogenic, there's nothing called photogenic. And I have asked this question to many. Let's define photogenic. Let's come down and say, what's photogenic? What are you comparing yourself to? I'm not photogenic. What is photogenic? And there is nobody who has an answer to it if they sit 2 minutes with it. Because you cannot create a book saying, if you have this, you're photogenic. That cannot be done, right? What is photogenic for Bea is not photogenic for me. What is photogenic for me is not photogenic for Bea. What is photogenic for me today might not be photogenic for me tomorrow, because I'm shifting and I'm moving and I'm changing. What is photogenic for me in my emotion today is not photogenic, because I'm in a different emotion and I cannot see anything good right now. So I will not see anything photogenic anyway. But just making that one word put us down in a way, especially the next generation, and making us feel so small. It's not the photo, it's that word and the comparison, that person is photogenic, I'm not, or that person is successful and I'm not, and that is better and I'm not. And the comparison part is the problem. If I didn't have a comparison of somebody who grade takes 80% and 90% grade, then I was never a failure anyway, right? I was just doing what I did, and whatever best I could do, I was just doing that. Nothing more and nothing less. So, and world of images, because, and especially now with social media, there's so much impact on us. And we are bringing our history to the photo. I feel very passionate about taking women through this to say, it's not you, it's with what you're thinking about yourself that's showing, and that's what you're not liking. It's not that you don't look nice in the photo, because you know in your heart how you feel, what you've not resolved, what is to be done, and that is what needs to be solved. And that's why this work. I use self portrait as a method, not to take more pictures, but when you take a picture, you're free. It's not about taking more pictures at all. It's about when the camera comes in front of you, do you feel free or do you feel caged? You know, is the point. And this self portrait workshop I take them through for 5 days is all the pieces come together, creativity, tech, and inner child work coming together to get you on the other side. So that pictures are a great tool to love ourselves even more, because we are visual beings, right? And we are using it as a curse, not as a blessing anymore. We look at it and we curse ourselves, we say bad things to ourselves or others, make hate pages, hate comments just based on pictures. So I'm on the mission to just show them that this was a creative tool to celebrate something like memories and things we couldn't hold on to. Nothing beyond that. It was never meant to be an image thing anyway.
Yeah. It's beautiful that you also touched on being photogenic and that it is subjective to each one of us. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same thing with beauty. You know, now it's said it says the more symmetrical your face is, the more beautiful you are. But who says that? It's the same as what you said about aging. Well, you know, when you get old, you get weak, you shrink, your bones get weak, and your skin sags, and you have lots of wrinkles in your face, and your hair falls out, and all that stuff. And I truly believe that every problem starts in your mind.
Yeah.
Every problem that you have with yourself or other people starts in your mind. I adore our brain. It is a beautiful supercomputer, but it is
Right.
so easily manipulated. And it
Right.
is and it is also not forward thinking. So when we when we when we judge ourselves, we always judge a past version of ourselves.
Right.
And you know, when you said you can see through the eyes what you have been through and also what you think about yourself because you have been through all of this.
Right.
That's when our brain creates that mental image of us that
Right.
instead of looking the way we are, we look like
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, the whole so when I'm teaching these workshops and all, I always also tell them the same picture, that it's a habit now. Look at your picture immediately and hate it. It's become a habit. So I always tell them, just hold on to this image before deleting it. Okay, just hold it on for 4 days. And you know, most people who I tell them to hold on come back, he's like, yeah, actually it's not such a bad picture. I don't know why I was hating it at that time. It is not the picture. It's after 4 days, you know, you go back to the same images. Some of the images, even if you had oily hair, even if you didn't have a good hair day, or you had a bad emotion, or a dark circle, somehow you don't hate it so much, it's gone. But that images association, the minute you take the picture, the instant thing that coming in front of you, delete it. Just delete this woman right now. It is not the picture at all. And I've done this many times. Same pictures have been liked again after 4 days, you know. But because that emotion is past, the moment is past, and so hold on, just like don't be in a hurry to comment on yourself. And also, I mean, the front lens camera is a horrible, the front lens anyway is a horrible lens for your pictures. It makes your face look odd. That's why the whole world is is watching like that, because only at that angle it looks symmetrical, and then you can associate with it. So it's all happening very subconsciously. Oh, I look nice like this. Why? Because the camera makes it look better because of the lens that's been put in front of the thing. The back lens is better, but nobody can see themselves. So they all use the front, and then they go that level. Do you really think it was announced one fine day that that is the angle at which the world should shoot? Everybody is doing that. Everybody, three generations are just right now shooting pictures just like that. Nobody told them. No manual says put your camera up. Why is it happening? Automatically, some intelligence that human mind has about the proportions, and they say the proportion is not right. But we're not seeing it like that. We're going to see it. I'm not right. I'm not okay. I'm looking bad. They're going to take the blame straight away to themselves, rather than saying the proportions look off. Of course, my chin is not like this. Why is it skewing the entire thing like that? Oh, so at this angle it doesn't look like that. No, no, no. I am bad. I am not okay. I am not. Something has to be fixed. Look at my dark circles. So yeah, we need some freedom from this, because AI is going to take it to another level, I feel. Totally fixing everything, the angles, the proportions, the stuff. And photography was meant to be felt, connected to, and then something should have moved inside of you, whether you're taking a picture of a sunset or yourself. But AI will just do some words and it'll create something, and it's taking us even more away from. We don't even have to encounter it anymore with AI. Not at all. Don't encounter it with AI. That what the reality is. And also to add to that is, there are things we can change, right? So when we see it on our picture, we must, like my weight, like my skin, I can change it if I take care of it, right? But there are things we can't. If there's a scar, if there's a accident happen, or there is wrinkles coming in, we can't. Of course, with all the beauty stuff we can, but just I'm saying, normal humans, day-to-day life, accept the things that can't change and change the things that can. It's all in your hands. Both the things are in your hands. But don't fall prey to the bad image that you are making of yourself, and through that going down, and through that the gift that you had, you're keeping it as a secret because you don't want to show up. But you had a gift. It's your responsibility to go out and share that gift, because you were born with a gift. But I wouldn't, just because of this shrinking thing. So it looks a very simple thing, like a self-portrait, or it's just another picture thing, but it runs deep. And I learned it over a period of 25 years with working with mothers, working with myself. When I became a mom second time with lockdown, I was refusing to come online, and I'm like, come on, you've seen so much light in others. How can you do this to yourself? And that's how I created a book called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams, taught 100 mothers how to photograph and tell their stories through self-portrait, and brought 40 of them to this country to launch the book from different parts of the world 2 years back.
Wow, that is incredible. That is
Yeah.
really amazing. I love your work. And just, I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is dreaming right now, and she's like lying right next to me. So if you hear like a grunting or like a wee, 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 that's her. I want to come back to new mothers. You said that you photographed a lot, or you're photographing a lot of new mothers. How? Because I remember when I became a mom, the first time and also the second time, and the challenge of thinking, I want to go back to my old self, I want my old body back, I want like all of this. Like, how does taking self-portraits support mothers on their journey into motherhood?
So I guess, so the beautiful part about doing the book of 100 mothers across the world was that everybody was speaking the same language, usually about their self-image after becoming a mom. And of course, it went step deeper than that. From single moms to moms who've adopted children to mothers who are Air Force officers, all mothers across the world, no matter what country, was talking what you just spoke, especially. And when I used to take my cameras to all these shoots, the mothers will come with their old pictures and say, look at this, my hair looked so much better before I became a mom, blah, blah, blah. And when I started this whole project of called Mum, my initiative is called Mum, Mothers United Movement. I was just, something came to me while researching, with talking to mums and interviewing them. And I caught myself doing the same, saying that when I say my old self was better looking, am I implying to my children that I have gone down thanks to you? That's the question I asked myself. And that hit me very hard. Am I like very unconsciously, am I saying that to my children? Because I saw it, but I also researched about it. The minute the children were coming to take pictures, they're like, hold on, don't take my picture right now. I'm in a pajama. I have to go out. Somebody will see it. Don't take my picture right now. Don't post it in the family picture. How could you post it in the family picture? How did you do that? And what will they, stuff like that. So the first question came to me first for myself. Am I saying that my dear sons have taken me down since I've become a mother? Am I trying to say that it's their fault? So first I changed that language, saying that I was better looking before I became a mother. Or it just shifted everything for me. Yeah. And that was the first layer removed. I'm a mother. I'm the best looking mother right now in my situation of handling breastfeeding, nighttime, forever. And I'm not looking great because I am not taking care of myself. Period. Nothing to do with my children behind or whatever. I don't have pedicured feet because I'm not paying attention. I'm not asking for help. I am not saying, please give me some help. I'm going through mental issues. We are not taught to be like that. And then searching for that woman who was at ease in our old pictures is the only way we can feel better. So life is like our faces are like canvases, and our life is just painting its colors depending on which paint we are picking up for our life. And that's about it. And in nature, if a flower is not doing well, it's not like water is not there, you can see that colors change, right? It doesn't look as bright because the plant is not being taken care of. Simple. Similarly, as a human, we part of nature, we look different color. And the minute we get the same mothers who've taken care of themselves, started going to the gym, and are off the first 5 years of their life of children, the first 5 years. I'm a mother of a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old. I mean, it gets better. And then you have the time to come back and shine and have the colors back and maybe have even a better body. A lot of time mothers come on like, I even feel better than I was. But very few of them say that. So when I'm speaking to mothers, I'm making these conscious efforts to make them understand that what a beautiful phase they are in. Right now, the pictures need to have hugs and the cuddles and the love oozing out, which is the most important thing. And don't miss on to those in order to associate with something which was in the past, or something you might become in the future. And then suddenly the lines, how can a mother loving and kissing will come a bad picture? It doesn't. It cannot. It's the mother who is thinking too much about her image will control her cheeks and teeth and clinch and hold, right? But the minute she soothes it into her motherhood, how can she look like, even in pajamas, she will look gorgeous, laughing with the children because it's still genuinely coming from her face. And nature has made us in a way that if we are joyous inside, it's no way that we're going to look bad. We're going to look the best version of ourselves at that space. But again, the comparison piece, all that stuff just messes with our head a lot.
Yes, so much. So what would you advise new mothers to do if they don't feel comfortable hiring a photographer, like in the first stage of motherhood?
I tell them to do more self-portraits. Step in the resistance, tell the resistance sisters to get away and say, oh, it's vanity or whatever. That's my method. But more than that, this piece of the comparison, be more conscious of what you're saying. and understand yourself by taking help, asking for help. Um, you know, there's a poem that I'd written called Lifeline long time back, and it said it's inspired by the ECG. So you will understand when the poem ends. A four-line poem. It says, "Join the two obvious dots of birth and death. The line between those dots becomes your life. A straight, monotonous line or an interesting pattern in between. Choose your lifeline." You know,
Mm.
if an ECG, if you're a dead human, your lines go straight. It's only when you're alive, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's just an up or it's a down, and then there'll be an up again. So just if you live for 80 years, and or your children are with you only for 18 years, 18 summers, 18 winters. That's it you have with them. It's not a long time. And if you just spend too much time thinking about um, correcting this self thing and missing on to what came to your life, it'll be a big miss. And a part of you will always know that it didn't go very well for you. So ease out in this 18 years of winters and 18 years stuff. Not even 18, I think 14. Because after 14, they want to go with you to a trip or not, you don't know. Only 14 years of, and my older one is almost like, he's turning 11, 12. I was like, my God, another 2, 3 years, this guy's gone. I'm like, another one will go in 6, 7. I don't have time to, I'm going to hold on to them and I'm going to create images with them. And they should look at my pictures and turn around and say, my mom had so many varied emotions. So do self portraits, do portraits with them, do just ease it out and shoot and let go. After 12 years, look back and say, what a beautiful up and down, up and down. My goodness, this is amazing life. I was given 100 emotions to express and I've expressed all of them in the pictures. I'm happy. Rather than one smile that I thought was a perfect one, but it pained me that it had a lot of pain in it. If it all just makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. And that is such a beautiful advice. Because like you said, that one smile, usually at some age, we have learned to smile a certain way because it makes our neck long and it makes our cheekbones pop out and it makes our eyes glance and we put on that smile every time there's a camera. It's like ha ha
Yeah.
ha. And even though our eyes are telling a different story. So taking pictures of emotions, diving deep into all of the emotions that we are capable of experiencing is so beautiful because it also shows our family. Like at some point when we're not there anymore, like you said, our children can look at us not just as the smiley facade and then the fainting memories of, yeah, mom was also angry, I think. Yeah, she was frustrated, so I guess. No.
Yeah.
It They can look at it and say, wow, my mom was an emotional being and she taught
Yeah.
me to deal with my emotions.
Right.
So this
Right.
is really, really beautiful and powerful.
Yeah, we can laugh about it. Give that children all the emotions, all the ones in the bad hair day and the good hair day, and something to talk about those pictures if you've taken them. I mean, there will be gorgeous hair days and there'll be bad hair days, and just get it all in. And I always tell mothers this: for a second, look at from the point of view of your child. The child only sees a queen, no matter she has a hair oil or she doesn't, right? She's dyed her hair or she's unwell or she just. But if that queen is denying herself any grace, they'll also learn that you have to be a particular way only to feel the grace in your present moment of motherhood or whatever. It's our duty to get that grace forward first for ourselves, and through us our children must see that grace so that they can love themselves. I've had mothers during lockdown telling me in my interviews that what you're saying is so right, because I would start putting my makeup and go on online, and my 12-year-old boy was putting the makeup and going, and I said, why are you going? He's like, why do you go? Because I have dark circles, she said. I'm hiding that. I also have dark circles. I have an online class with my school. I can't go like that. So I've had 75-year-olds coming into the workshop saying that I have had 75 years of hating myself and my pictures because my mom hated herself. No, 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 don't take my picture. Don't take my picture. I'll get very angry. I've had women whose dance teachers commented on their thigh being a little big and they can't be a dancer and shutting down from cameras. I've had women coming in talking, finding out that, oh, the problem started when they were 5 years old and they were told that by their parents that only smile like this because last time you smiled, the picture was not nice. Right? And that carrying on for years is creating a lot of ripple effect, right? And Gabor Mate, who's a very beautiful author, said that we're always getting to choose between acceptance and authenticity. So when we're children, acceptance is our need, and we are told that if you do not listen to the ways of our saying, we won't accept you. You go to your room, go here. We'll only accept you when you come back to the ways which are looking okay. So if you're authentic in your expression, the child has to keep choosing constantly. Should I be authentic right now? My anger side is authentic right now, or my playful side is authentic right now. Could I? No, but the parent will come in and say, I won't accept you. And for the child, the need is acceptance. So the minute they start shutting down their authenticity, and then showing up authentically is scary. I always say this. Spoke to my husband and I said, what if I wake up one day and I said, the whole world became authentic today? Everybody's authentic today. And he said, that's scary. I said, can you imagine that we associate authenticity with being such a scary world, which means if we are going to get authentic, we're going to go haywire, which is not the truth. If you're authentic, we might become more gentle and we might be at ease with ourselves because we are expressing ourselves at the best heart rate, if I can say, possible, ease and soothing and everything. And so authenticity is our right, and we must move towards that so that we can save our children from the online world that's taking them even further into inauthentic expression. And camera is a great way of doing that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Especially like I also teach that to my clients. I call it wildness. And when first people come to me and they're like, wildness, ooh, wow, this is scary. This is like, we're going to run around and we're going to destroy stuff and we're just going to, rip our clothes off. And I'm like, no, that's not what wildness is. Do you see lions, run around and kill everything that surrounds them all the time? No. They are chilled. They are relaxed. When they're hungry, they hunt. Yeah. So giving into our primal parts does not mean getting out of control, or, tapping into our authenticity doesn't mean we're spiraling out of control. No, it just means that we don't have to pretend anymore.
Right.
That we don't have to put on a smile that does not fit us anymore. So I love the conversation that you had with your husband and all the work that you do. And you were talking about your 5-day workshop. Can we put a link to that in the show notes?
Yeah, the next one is just happening on the 28th. I can put it in. If you just give me a second, or I can give it to you later, whichever one is easier.
Yeah, give it to me later. But the link to the workshop and all the information to that you will find in the description or in the show notes, wherever you're watching or listening to us right now.
Yeah, even later, the same link, the dates keep changing. So that's a forever evergreen link. The dates of the next workshop keeps changing in that, and they can always keep using it. So
yes, that is
incredible. There's a quiz also. I can put you a link of a quiz that takes you through a free masterclass that also gives you a little hint of what is I'm talking in little detail.
Ooh. Thank you so much. This is very, very generous. So besides the workshop, besides the masterclass, where can people find you?
Facebook, essentially, photographer Shikha. And yeah, I'm there on Instagram, but I operate a lot on Facebook. And website is there, but the work for self-portrait, essentially, everything is happening on Facebook right now. On my profile, it's all there.
Okay, wonderful. I love it when my guests just say, just find me there. Like, you know, you like your home address. It's like, this is where I live. It's really
Yeah.
easy. So go and connect to Shikha through Facebook, follow her, give her some love, and also please let her know what inspired you most about our episode. And because I am really, really inspired by what you have been sharing with us. So thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Bea. This is beautiful, and I am waiting to talk to you, to the mothers as well, because you've also. I mean, I've already saw your speaking event, and that's how I reached out to you. It was absolutely amazing, and even your story came from a little, you know, a comment, and then going all the way. So, I would love to talk to you and about wildness. This really intrigues me, and I'm excited and curious at the same time about what you have to say about that. So thank you for doing the work you do.
Thank you so much. And yes, let's do that. We're going to connect after, like off camera. we talked so much of on camera, but we're going to talk about this off camera. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And that's it. That's it for today. Thank you so much for coming on and staying with us and listening to everything, to all the magic that Shikha shared here. I'm giving you a virtual high five because you are part of the 52 Weeks of Flow family. If you have 5 seconds, it probably only takes 3 seconds, then please rate and review the show. It would mean the world to me, and bring on more amazing guests like Shikha and share the message of getting into flow and back into your wildness. If you don't want to miss a thing, then please hit the subscribe button, push the bell so that you don't miss any episode that comes on. And also you can subscribe to our newsletter at www.superwoman.coach, and there you will get all the latest info. You will get discounts to all the healings, workshops, masterclasses that are coming on in the future. So, and if you are inspired to come on the show with me, then drop me a DM on Instagram and let's have a conversation. So I love you. And until the next time, keep shining, keep learning, keep growing, and keep flowing.